7th grade, the only thing that really mattered in the middle school band wing was the shine on your instrument. Most of the kids in the woodwind section had these sparkling silver-plated flutes or brand new gold-lacquered saxophones that their parents bought on a payment plan from the fancy music store downtown. I, however, had a tenor sax that my grandpa found at a pawn shop for $45. It was dented, the velvet inside the case was balding, and the brass was so tarnished it looked like a weathered penny. I spent every rehearsal trying to block my junk heap from view with my music stand, but you can't really hide a 10-pound hunk of metal. During the week of chair placements, the kid who sat first chair, a boy named Brandon whose family owned 3 car washes, looked over at my horn and made a face like he smelled something rotten. He whispered, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Hey, did you find that in a scrapyard, or did a garbage truck just drop it off?" The whole saxophone section started to snicker. I felt that familiar hot sting in my chest, the kind that makes you want to pack up your things and vanish. I just stared at my sheet music, wishing the floor would swallow me whole. But then, Mr. Harrison, the band director, a guy who usually looked like he'd rather be anywhere else, walked over. He was a gruff, retired jazz musician with hands that always smelled like coffee and valve oil. He didn't say a word to Brandon. Instead, he reached out, took my beat-up horn, and turned it over in his hands. "You kids have no idea what you're looking at," he said, his voice echoing off the practice room walls. He pointed to a tiny faded engraving near the bell. "This right here is a 48 original. The brass is heavy because it was built to last. You can't get this kind of soul out of a factory line horn made of tin." He looked right at me and winked. "Don't ever let them tell you this is junk. This is a workhorse." Nobody laughed after that. For the rest of the year, I didn't feel like the kid with the scrap metal. I felt like a musician with a legend in his hands. 10 years later, I ran into Mr. Harrison at a local jazz club. I thanked him for what he said that day, telling him how much it meant that he recognized such a rare vintage instrument. He just laughed, a low, raspy sound, and shook my head. "Son," he whispered, "that horn was a cheap, mass-produced knockoff from the late 70s. It was barely worth the metal it was made of." He patted my shoulder and smiled. "But you needed to believe it was special, so you could realize that you were special too. That bit of borrowed dignity was worth more than all the gold-plated horns in the world."